All right, today is March 28th, 2021 or 2021. And this is our third, I believe, body electronics info piece. So we're going to record it as well as talk to all of you, share with all of you. And we have two people who have done body electronics, meta body electronics before. One has done it a lot, and the other one speaks with a Swedish American accent. Yeah, who is with us, came over from Sweden to do this event. So first of all, what is body electronics? I'll talk about that first. Amy's with us. That's another person. I love it. So I learned body electronics from Dr. John Whitman Ray back in the mid to late 70s. And so what body electronics is a form of sustained acupressure. So the idea of this is whenever, if any of us have ever, it's so funny because I'm working on so many levels now with what this thing is about. So I have a brand new book coming out of basically what I've learned from body electronics and studying the eyes. It's all about, wow, the word becomes flesh. It's so accurate, so real, so true. So if I'm living my life and I have reaction, judgment, condemnation, criticism, shame, blame, guilt, right, wrong, good, bad, all that kind of stuff, and I go against all that, against the law of love, John taught us that we would create a crystal and it would be in the body. Well, I've got a whole translation of how the thought, word, and emotional patterns are frequency specific to different areas of the body. So that's what this new book is coming out all about. So in other words, genetically and experientially, that means mom and dad, lineage, back as far back. All of us our physical body is carrying all of our karma to be dissolved and transformed into perfection. How cool. So when we go, oh, I'd like to move upscale, I choose to move. Something in all the memories inside go, oh, hell no, I won't go. Hell no, I won't go, or something like that. And so have you ever noticed that, you start moving upscale and then, maybe it's safer to go downscale. Maybe let's just hide. So that's not going to work because the universe is going, hello, everyone. Let's come back to the light. Let's come back into I am that I am, whatever way you use it. And it is whatever is true for you. And so body electronics, whenever I do it, it's about helping my team, who's ever in our study and teamwork and stuff like that. At that point, they all become my friends. It's my way to not have to peel layers and 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 layers off. You can just hold these points and the memories come back and heat. The fingers sometimes get literally as hot as if they're on a hot wood stove. And memories come back, and in other words, the crystal in the body, which we would find is pain, when we find that pain and hold it, never giving more than that person can lovingly and willingly endure. And when they make contact, eventually the point holder goes upscale and the point holdee goes upscale dramatically, profoundly, quickly. And so, and Adam, we've got before and after eye photos of Adam's eyes and also Mark's eyes, where I know I've read more eyes than anybody I know that's on the planet today. And I saw Adam's before when I did this. We're going to do the before and after. So here's Adam's before. I know them quite well. I've read them before. And then I went, oh. And Adam, yes or no? I mean, can you just talk about what happened to the structure of the anatomy of your being reflected in your eye?
Yes. So this was this big occurrence happened in my second meta body electronics class that we did. And as Bob was just describing, things that were coming up for me to be forgiven, to be transformed, to be healed. He's yet to talk about this call, but we've talked about it before. It's called Herring's Law of Cure. So basically, I'll just summarize it for me. So whatever I'm spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically ready to handle will be my next octave, because it goes in a certain way, is all the way from birth up to wherever our experience is in life. And this next thing that was up for me was something that was unforgivable. And after a while of being on the table, maybe like 45 minutes, if someone's resisting, which I was on the table, it'll make it a lot hotter and harder to hold the different points for my teammates. So some of the people on my team, they were starting to get a little grumpy as well, because I was really cooking them and toasting them. And me being on the table, you don't really feel the energy as much as like the point holders do. So you're aware of it, but it's just different. So anyway, Bob noticed something that I was holding back. He called me out on it. I had gotten up off the table where people unplugged. And then Bob and I had an interaction where he's just very good at, because of over the years in his study and the way that he's designed all these systems, he hears things on many levels, senses things. This is what I make up. Anyway, he knew something to call me out on something. And what had happened for me that time, this was the first time ever a male figure in my life showed me that much love and was so strong with that love that there was no room for me to go anywhere but to stay in my love and to transform this unforgivable pattern, and then be able to get back on the table and replace it and walk forward. And then what happened with the structure of my eyes is my pupils were really big. I mean, like maybe 50% of the color of my blue irises, which meant I was in a state of overwhelm, people pleaser, just being worthy, just so many different things. But anyway, because of that pattern and Bob staying with me, my pupils were really small. Some of the fibers in the white fibers in my eyes straightened out because they were pretty wavy.
Not some.
Yeah, I mean, really wavy, which means I was all over the place, seeking outside of myself externally for answers or to get approval from others when everything was inside. So, my fibers straightened out. My pupil was smaller. Some of the sclera had begun to pull off and away from my iris, which is me, you'll begin to understand this, but this was codependent patterns, giving my power away to others. But anyways, amazing how much that had shifted only being in the game, maybe about a year, 14 months.
So I'm going to add in anytime. So there are wavy patterns, beautiful eye, a lot of fiber moving up scale, but that's my first time of seeing an eye go from, I've seen so many changes, but this one was like, I wouldn't have known that was Adam's eye. And when I talk about this, we reboot to perfection. Only we have a video on this, by the way. So anybody, you can email Adam and he can send you a link for it. It was all about body electronics and the eyes, because we use that for meta body electronics. We use the eye shows the map. Anyway, so everyone has a divine blueprint. And, it's I am that I am, and however you choose to say it, I call it our anointed self, and that's true for me. And whatever it is inside of us that's pure, that is spirit, not our personality, that's beyond our personality, that is attainable. And I believe that's what we're feeling with all this heat. So in body electronics, we find that it's step by step system of meta BE. Way beyond what I learned from John Ray. So I climbed up on this huge guy's shoulders and I've been in it long enough to go, oh yeah, let's add conscious language. Let's add imagination activation. Let's add outcome facilitation. Let's add outcome mapping. Let's make it fun and easy. Let's play 125%, all these different advancements that were necessary. So in Meta BE, what we do is we come together with about a month's worth of nutritional prep, having already gotten in the game, already studying the body electronics facilitator video series. So everybody gets a sense of what's going to be happening. And then we literally plug into the endocrine session first. And then that's STO, solar plexus, pituitary, thyroid, pineal, medulla, and heart. And basically the STOs bring nerve supply to the body, etc. And I'll leave it at that. And that session is what used to take a week to do. Well, we just had 44 people in actually 8 days of Meta BE, and we got done in 7 days. And we did the endocrine session, the bladder lift, the colon electronics, the spinal electronics, the cranial electronics. John had the bladder lift, but not as a session. He did not have colon electronics. He had the spinal electronics and cranial. Spinal would take a week, 6 days. Cranial would take 6 days for everybody. Well, we did all of this, endocrine 6 days. And again, we did bladder lift, colon electronics. So that wasn't even made back then. And then spinal and cranial all within a few days, because we're so prepared nutritionally, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Everybody's in the game playing 125, choosing to make it fun and easy. And everybody's done a lot of work to get there. So we're not plowing through somebody's reactive pattern. We're actually just dissolving any old memories into what they're meant to be. So the heat is much easier to work with no grunting. Everybody's in there partnering and loving and anyway, that all that kind of stuff. So this particular series of classes that we just got done with, someone in Australia, Ia in Australia, said, Bob, because of what's going on, I don't choose to travel. Can I do it here? I'm a body worker. And I'm going, I really have to have someone who's done it before. Well, we happen to have someone in that community, Mullumbimby in Australia, Ange, who had done the class here. She came and did like 20 days with us here, she and her husband, Dave. And so Ange agreed to be the person there to show everyone where the points are, because you get really good at it. And so we did 32 people here in Western North Carolina, and we did 12 people in Mullumbimby, Australia. And they had to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Our start time was 9. That was 1 o'clock in the morning for them. Tomorrow, I thought that was pretty funny. We're starting tomorrow while you're in today. Okay, got it. And it was immaculate. It was just immaculate. So what this is about, what we're exploring with each one and putting the word out there is, we have a class, April, I don't know what's up with me in months, April 19, 20, and 21. I mean, something happened during COVID before it happened. I kept going. July was February for me. And I must have said it like 50, yes or no, Stacy, about 50 times. I mean, and people would go, Bob, what? Oh, okay, I remember. So in August, no, just kidding. January, February, March, April, in April, we have 19, 20, and 21. This 3-day thing, not doing body electronics, it's mastering the technique and the point locations, so that people can begin to do satellite sessions at the same time we're doing it, because we've got this hooked up. And it was absolutely miraculous. I mean, for me. And Adam, any comments? I saw your.
I mean, yes, absolutely. It was amazing. What was amazing for me is that, for me, in my mind and the way I see things, like, this is what technology was designed for. And Bob had also found out in 2020, he had other plans to do some traveling and go on, just do what we usually do when we travel and support our communities. But because of what had happened, he had great success, like doing Zoom classes and trainings and actually having more people be able to be on. And then what we just did with body electronics and being over in Australia, what we realized is that we can do this all over the planet simultaneously. And there's a phrase, a scriptural phrase, that when 2 or more are gathered in my name, I am there among them. Well, imagine the type of transformation and upgrades that we can all have doing this all simultaneously, where you can be in your own community, be really close to home, and support the people that you bring, supported by us in Mastery Systems from North Carolina. So we just found out that there's a whole world of possibilities, and we're super excited because now everybody doesn't have to necessarily travel to North Carolina to do this. We just require a couple, 2 or 3 people to be trained in a community to therefore help facilitate, because we found it's just way easier the more people you have trained in the techniques and how to prepare a session. And just, there's a lot of logistical stuff that happens in order to put this class on. It's our far most logistically, just, there's a lot of moving parts. So the more that you can get educated and understand how to do all of this stuff, the better. Period for now.
Yep. Awesome. And I believe you and I both had the same epiphany when we were both, we could do this all over. And so I've been doing this for 50 years. So I'm going, wow, instead of every 2 years doing a Meta BE, well, how cool to be able to do one frequently. Yeah. Just like in Mullumbimby right now, all the leaders, all the 12 that came were all leaders, coaches, trainers, facilitators, all that kind of stuff. And so they're already spreading the word, and she believes that it's going to be really big. So anyway, what this is about coming up in April, this, I ought to be able to remember. It's your wife's name, Adam. So I'm just going to go. I can remember it now. April. Okay. I mean, literally, I've been home on my own property. I've left my property about 24 times in a year. So, and I live where it's beautiful and all that stuff. And I've been doing, a lot of classes and all that, but it's like, yeah, what? Oh, why are they wearing masks? What's that about again? Anyway, it's anyway. So what this is about is Ia, when she did Australia, At first I was like, there's no way. And then it was like, well, and then Ange comes in, and Dave, her husband, has a camera. And so the way this works is a month's worth of prep. And then what we do, the class is 10 days, which means we do a 2-day all for you, completely focused using conscious language, imagination activation, outcome facilitation, outcome mapping, and the I love, touch, breathe, stay, feel material, which is all in this packet. Everybody gets it ahead of time when they register. And then when we come together, I'm asking everybody to do it ahead of time. And then when we come together, I have 2 days to prepare everyone for how they're going to do this. This will be, and those that have done it with me, some of the most intense experiences in our lives, except that it was much easier this time. Would Stacy, any comments since you were here with us about intensity or whatever, anything on that?
Yes, I mean, this is my first Meta BE. I listened to the videos, and so I was somewhat prepared, and I really appreciated the prep time before. We met once a week also before. So we were very much ready mentally, spiritually, and physically. So when we got there, it went very, very smooth, actually. I believe that, Bob took some time and theoretically built up what is Meta BE, and then we would break up into different groups. And I just felt the peace and the grace of God through each moment. And as we broke out, like when we assembled in our different sessions and with the teams, we didn't know who was going to be in our team, but it was just worked out just so beautifully with all the different teams that were formed, and the sessions went miraculous.
And what happened in the sessions?
There was, for me, it was very awakening. Just when like, I think the endocrine system one was the first one, and that was the most intense one for me. And it was just me waking up to relaxing in and feeling feeling the pain and loving it and transforming it, and upgrading it. And so so that was.
And I have a question. Was it actually pain?
No, yes, it was my love. It was my love that it was. But when I learned that, or I remembered that afterwards.
Yep. Cool. Got it. And so on a scale, in other words, since you've been home, any changes?
Yes, they unfold day after day after day. I'm still doing my minerals, and I'm just really unfolding what I'm feeling in a whole new way. And I am so grateful. That's Meta BE is the fastest way that I have known how to upgrade fast and learn to feel, for me.
Cool. And I'm going to ask this just because I would need to know this. So of all the things you've done before, we haven't talked about this, but of all the things you've done before, I'm going to call that the amount of transformation is X. And once you began to interact with mastery, because it's all together, it did mastery and Meta BE, what happened with your number X as far as the amount of transformation?
10,000X.
That'll do. Awesome. So if you all get that's a big, it's not just, well, it improved a little bit. No, it's more like if somebody can stay and hold this point, that's cosmic love. And pretty soon everybody's like, yeah, the last session, about 12 people worked together, one on the table, and well, actually we had 10 on ours here because we had 32. So 10, 11. And there was no grunt, no groan. We just found all these points, about 20 points being held on one person, plug in. And what we do is we're resetting all those crystals to clear. And so, and we're going to meet shortly, all the grads of it, because I got a lot to share. And Adam and I were going to talk about this, that all of our relationships change the minute we do the meta session. We reboot to perfection. So everybody, I'm going to set it. I already shared it. Like, all right, hold on. All your family, your relationships, your career, your relationship with your creator, all that changes because and it's nice to have a conversation about it instead of going, what's up with you, life, or having somebody, wait, step back and go, oh, I'm new. My old habit it could reboot itself or attempt to. No, I'm new. And so this is where outcome mapping is such a valuable, important part of designing what our life is like now that we're thriving and big. So,
and I choose to echo on that. I've done body electronics a lot now. I mean, obviously Bob's, a bazillion more times than me, but I've done it 8 times and I've led a couple myself. And I know this, like, I know that my life's going to be brand new. It's not necessarily that I know exactly all the details or that I'm aware of it. And that's why it's super beneficial, one, to get trained in all this stuff, have friends and fellow coaches that know the stuff too, because what I just went through a couple days ago with Bob, there's some things that were like, I knew something was brand new. I knew I required to upgrade some things I already had upgraded. And what was it exactly? There was a few things that were coming up for me that me personally, I wasn't able to name or exactly see clearly. And with Bob's support, he helped me and brought me in a different way, like he does with our coaching system. And it was a brand new, 2 or 3, 4, it's still going on right now, but big, super big ahas for me. Like, oh my God, this is what this means, a whole nother level. So just imagine being trained in this, having the support system, bringing this to your community when someone else comes through it with you, being able to support them, knowing exactly what's going on and what to do about it. So it's just very important, period.
I love it. This whole thing there's a lot to it. And this is an intro to share with our people. We have a number of people already registered. We have people in Mullumbimba that are going to be doing it with us, same. And maybe Stacy will be doing it in Sweden. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. And you won't have to get up quite as early as you just stay up late or whatever. Hopefully it'll be cool. Yeah. It's like, how cool is that? And imagine once somebody experiences this, I have always, as a child, got 144,000 when I learned about that in the Bible as a kid. I went, ooh, something was really important about 144,000. And 2 or more, as Adam said, 2 or more gathered, and I am there among them. All right, got that. There's only one of us here. Well, in the twinkling of an eye, like a thief in the night, that's really what this is about for me, of the shift. Even Adam. So Adam has been through this a number of times, taught his own classes. And we have an interaction, and I'm noticing, okay, so I'm just go, well, let's go out sideways and come back in. And I'm not going to give it up. It's personal, but Adam found the wording, in my view anyway, and you do yours, the wording of his mission in life. And just the most important, and it was all his. Nobody gave it to him. He was the one that said it. Wham! And it was from his entire incarnation, basically, all the way through till this moment in time. That's because, and I got duckies all over. That's because the individual. Hello, duckies. How are you? Anyway, that's because the individual cleaned their all the patterns of anything less than love and brought love into all of that. And so everybody does it in the class, and the support system. That's why I said, all right, we're going to meet again, because I get to share with everybody. Look, kids, be aware that everything is new. If you can imagine, like I just upgraded my computer, and I have Macs all over, and somehow on one of my computers, I hit some button about the cloud and my desktop and whatever, unbeknownst to me. And my guy that's helping me remotely is going, he got pissed off. He was so angry with me. You did? No. But I'm not very puppyish, so I was a little more like, he goes, you don't have anything on your hard drive. You don't even have a desktop on your hard drive. It just looks like it. It's all in the cloud. And I bet if you go check all 4 of your Macs, they're all going to be in the cloud. You don't have anything on your computer anymore. That's exactly what we've all been doing until now.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off, and angry, and 10 and a half hours to figure this out, to figure out what was wrong. But, it's like I kept going, bring a miracle of your perfection out of this to all concerned, periodically, not right away. I had to get frumpy and grumpy and all that stuff. Bring a miracle of your, but once I got, when we fall from grace, when we ate from the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, we fell from grace or union, same thing, and became embarrassed. This is my common phrase, and had the fig leaf figure out what to do to hide our embarrassment. Well, that's when we started to sort by everyone else. So when he told me what happened, it was just a button. Okay, that sounds great. I can have my desktop here and I can have it in the cloud. No, you can have it in the cloud and it'll look like it's on your desktop. And the only way we found it is when we I have 2 terabyte, the high end Mac, and 1.7 terabytes filled up, and I only have 300 and some gigabytes on all my memory stuff. And he's going, what is all this crap? It's because I was uploading all my computers, just like all of us. When we're moving up scale, it's not just us unless we're sovereign. When you get that.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's where I'm sharing with our grads, and I'll share with everybody. Look, kids, once you reach sovereign, sort by your own heart, no one else. And so, man, I mean, Adam, yes or no? That's exactly what happened for you in your aha, is you went to your heart, and your heart told you the coolest stuff ever. Yes or no?
Yes, it did. And the first time at that level, I mean, like Bob said, a lot of times, like he may do a little more prepping or have to ask a few more questions, but this time it was just like one quick phrase out of his mouth of something that inspired him through him to ask me, and just it was immediately. And actually, I choose to share this. So there was two times for sure, most likely 3 times, where I actually got up to a brand new doorway for me, and I was blank, like it was a blank canvas for me. And I know now, like in the past, I would have said, because he asked me a question, and I said, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And then I could have pretended to say it like the conscious languagey way, which is I choose to know. But the point is I now knew what that was because I've been in the game for so long. So immediately I asked him, please ask me the question again. Say it again, so that my mind doesn't have any opportunity to start running the dialogue and thinking that I have to find the correct answer or say the right way. So say it again, ask me again. And yes, I got some of the most coolest, profound first timers for me. That was something I've been asking for. It wasn't like I'd get a little bit of this improvement, a little bit, but there was just something with just one tweak. And I had an aha that, like, oh my gosh, this is really big. This is global. And I was able to give it to myself and also support, one of our other team members, which also means I give it to my world. Period.
Yeah. I mean, and what I love is with so many of us doing the work, we get reflection from all of us. That's the, it's not like a one-on-one. People go, well, can you do Meta BE with me? No, I cannot do it myself with you. I mean, I'd much rather do it with 44 people. I'd much rather do it with 44 or 55 or all the different numbers we've had, or 5 million or 144,000, with a number of people there to be able to guide and share. I mean, it is profound to hold points. Second of all, sometimes the amount of heat that happens is like, you're kidding me, but that's love that we're getting used to. That's really what it is love we're getting used to. It's always love. Now it's just love. But again, what Adam's for me is a perfect example of, you get to a point and all of a sudden the veil gets very, very, very thin between us and our great self. And we've loved and forgiven our little self, our reactive self, our stanky self, our whatever, enough that our little self quiets down in reaction. And then, 2, 3, 4 questions. And Adam got my view. Adam got the languaging of his mission in life. And it's a complete metamorphosis for Adam's mission and his personal experience in life. There's Mullumbimby, yay, welcome. So again, the why I believe this is so important, why grads that we're going to be meeting soon, is there isn't, in other words, if we're made new, if you can just all, like, again, I have my new computer and I was uploading it, and I'm sharing this again with our Mullumbimby team just because it's important. And what I found is I'd hit a button in one of my other computers that made every one of my iMacs go to have my desktop and my all my hard drive on the cloud and not be on my computer. And I have a feeling that's exactly what's happening in Meta BE, is we're coming back all the way in to sort by ourselves, even though in the past we've been sorting outside, or by the socialized global right, wrong, good, bad, God outside of me type stuff that happened at the fall from grace. So for me, Adam, when you did that first, it's awesome that I got to participate in that in the way that I did. But also for me, I keep reading it out. It's like I can see like, whoa. I mean, so I'm sharing with all grads, and this is what we'll talk about on, was it Wednesday, I believe, something like that. One of the days we got our meeting. Anyway, Thursday, I think. Thursday. Thank you. So just to let everybody know, imagine having groups of people all over who have come in, and for me, everybody's got to know these points. Like if I done this, I had to have Ange to be able to work with our group in Australia, because she'd been physically there and I was with her when she was there, with all the other people that were there. And so was Adam. And so my point is now it's like I get to be with everybody and show everybody the exactness of where the points are, or have like somebody in Australia who's done it, who knows the difference between almost on the point and the point. And that's what we're going to film and Zoom. And what I'm imagining is we come in with two different webcams. The way we had webcams, it was so cool. We could see almost, it was so rich. But having the webcams come from two different angles, why I show these point locations and why people come in and they practice. And we're not going to hold points. We're going to find and master the techniques of the whole thing, the setup, everything I can possibly think of, and everything Ia can think of. Please, yes, please. And then also, because once people are done, they're not done. That's a whole new world starting out. It's literally, what do we do from here? And this is staying in the conversation. So any comments by anybody that have their mouth full or something?
I'm experiencing my upgrades since Meta massively. I just had my first class this morning, and my experience in facilitating was, I felt my whole group were giants. And when I went upscale, everyone who came had also gone upscale miraculously. I just felt like I was in the room with giants. In the past, it felt like Hindi. And I know that's directly a result of having done Meta now. I'm just like, whoa, what it's done is really confirmed to me the power of saying yes to my creator's calling or to my heart's calling. And the minute I do that, it's like, everything I've done before is great because it's shown me that when I say yes, it works. But nothing I've done before is preparing me for the next now, which is new. In a sense, it's like prepared me and not prepared me. And I feel for me, Meta BE is where the veil between me and my creator opens. And so there's no more room for doubt, because now I've contacted my creator because it's the Meta BE that your group's holding your points, but it's so inward. The whole experience is so internal. There's no human saying what's going on for you. It's just you and your creator, or me and my creator. So now it's like my inner world is so much louder and stronger than the seen world. Is almost like, walk by faith becomes a joke because I can only see the inner and I can already see it done. So there's this just way more empowerment, but from within. And I believe regular Meta BEs are just keeping everyone, myself as well, just tweaked and topped up and clear my earring. Say also that it just gives me so much more confidence and connection to myself. It's like the need for any help disappears. And so now it's more of a play and an exchange, because there's not a sense of I'm ever going to get help from outside. It's always going to come from within. And so what becomes clear then is, and like you said, I can't do it for you. It needs a community. That's right. We need community. We require to exchange with each other, to support each other. So that's just really clear. There's like, yeah, we're just beyond any previous reality.
I love what you said. First of all, I always get when somebody's speaking truth, I'm like getting so much out of it. When you said that, our past has gotten us to a point, but then and I'm just going to rephrase it for me, that what happens is the next is an unfolding of what's new. So I can't use anything of my past to get through to the next unfolding. It's all experiential. And I mean, I love that. I mean, for me, it's like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Oh yeah, I know how to do that. Oh yeah. And it's like, not anymore. It's like my creator will show me by faith only the miracle of life in ways I know not of, and it's beyond finding out. Like when this thing happened with my computer, as an example, man, I was Mr. Frumpy and worried and concerned. And of course I had a guy working on the for 10 and a half hours. Hello, 10 and a half hours straight up one day, and 7 hours the day or the couple days before, and 4 hours before that. And he was not fun. He was not happy. He had no positive energy. And so I just kept going, all right. And I come up with this option, and then that would work. I'd come up with this option, and then that would work. And now it's like, all right, I've rebuilt so far all my computers. And what I had to do is shut off that connection to have everything in the cloud. I had to say, no, if I need something, I go grab it, pull it off the cloud, stick it on my computer, shut you off again. So I'm sharing with everybody, it's imperative, the idea for me of thou shalt put no false gods before me, and I will pour you out a blessing greater than you can contain. That idea to me is that we overflow. So if I'm going just enough to get by or make do, then I'm not going for the gold. And so I won't reward myself with what I'm asking for. It's smaller. It's a little bit. I mean, if I could have a little bit of help, a little bit of support, a little bit of money, I'll have to struggle for a little bit, because God's got a whole bunch. Life, the universe has got a whole bunch. And the scriptural statement of sufficient for the day is the evil thereof. Sufficient for the day. And so it's like, wow. So when we go global, as you just said, Ia and Adam, same. When we get to this idea of this is community, this is coming, no person is an island unto themselves. And for me, I love watching. I mean, I have this addiction in a good way. I'm into miracles. And not only miracles I'm involved in, I love when somebody gets it themselves. I love when somebody else has a miracle helping somebody else get a miracle. I mean, anyone, this is the coolest thing ever, to have just, like rephrase something for somebody to go, wow, yeah, or translate body language. Well, now imagine our temple, our body starting fresh. Anyway, so I agree, Ia, that's like, yeah, none of my history is going to help me through this. Only my trust and staying present and the grace of God will get me through it. So,
yeah, and I have a great miracle to report. Susha had just say a body signal up, really extreme. She joined a book club we started last night, and she came on, just asked the group to vote a victory. Most of our book club did meta, plus invited all their friends. So it's a nice big club now. And everyone voted a victory. Overnight, she thought she would have to go to hospital. She was just in a lot of pain. And this morning she came to class, and she left class saying her pain was entirely gone. And that's just an example of community, and just simply going, hey, everyone, vote my victory and stay in the game. And wow, I mean, she went from hospitalization as an option to walking away in perfect health 10 minutes ago without doing anything, just miracle decree.
But she did do a thing. She asked one of the laws. She asked y'all to vote victory. And my version, without asking Susha, and Susha, if you listen to this, but she walked by faith, not by sight, because she knew the tools, and she asked. She already knew it was done. That's why she asked y'all. And then anyway, she followed the steps. She stayed in the game, and voila.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's what it sounds like when a miracle happens.
Human level, like.
Exactly. I like that's the sound of a miracle. Voila. That's or ding or whatever it is. So cool.
Voila.
So and
she
again,
followed the law.
Exactly. What, honey? What?
She followed the law.
Yep.
Ask, seek,
every
time.
Yep.
Works every time. Even if like it seems impossible, it works every time.
Well, I love, for me, it's like, if it's like, I have no way at all, that's the whole, I mean, a couple things. We're getting to the point where we're going to need everybody to help everybody through.
Yes.
The illusion will scream really loud. I mean, it has been for a year. I mean, if we just look at viruses, viruses are not alive at all. They have to have agreement in DNA to work, to function negatively. So if we all, and as we all rise up, move up scale, and everybody's like so concerned about the vaccines, I recommend you study Emoto. They took the most toxic water, I love you, I bless you, I thank you. Start doing that everywhere you go. Start resurrecting the pattern. Yes. All things are possible with God. So somebody, oh, this changing your DNA. Look, I can't changes your DNA. I want changes your DNA. I can changes your DNA. I choose to changes your DNA. Your DNA is just that hard drive going, oh, what are we doing today? So I choose to make this fun and easy. I give myself permission to play. I give myself permission to thrive. I touch with love. And that's what Meta BE and body electronics, all the whole system was, I mean, miraculous, first of all, that I figured out that's what happened when I had 30 some people hold my points once and 28 or whatever it was the second time. These are years apart. And my entire world collapsed on what I'd created because it wasn't built on love. It wasn't my highest choice. And I didn't know any of that until a decade, maybe two later. And I look back on, oh, that's what happened. I'm so glad that my creator goes, knock, knock, what? Look back, take a look, what happened? Oh, so we can do that. And now, this is for you, Alessandro. We can do that for now, because his mouth is full. If I get anyone laughing, he'll laugh in Italian for me. Yeah. Anyway, so do you get a sense of, oh, I mean, that's a gift of God. I'm going to get it. And it's time. And Ia, same with Ia. Ia's going, Bob, I prefer not to travel to the United States. So let's do it here. And all of a sudden we have a camera. We have to have that to be able to do it from the eyes. And we have somebody who's willing to come in and be with the whole team the whole time, Ange. And now that you've done all that, it's like, yeah, I'm fully trained. Now I'm going to show everybody. Adam has been with me through all these sessions that he's done with me. I still got so many that it's time in my, well, to get the word out that it's time for me to give all the rest of the instruction just in case, like spleen point. Yes, Adam?
Yeah.
Because somebody's got, there's certain points that just, man, or a thyroid point. You better know where 15 thyroid points are in case somebody's got some anger or whatever up. But all like Anna, who was in this last class that we did, again, she was coming, she had COVID. She was, tested, she had COVID. She was really struggling to breathe. She finally got a hold of me. She and her husband were right there. So I was working with her and I was talking about nutrition. I said, now just hold this one point right here. It's a muscle, C-clamp right in the muscle and between the web. Like, anyway, and over, like, that's when she goes, it was over. Like, I can show you, I'm choosing to show you all this stuff as part of my gift that I've been given to make sure it's in the craw, so to speak, or the consciousness of humanity. And it's not just, oh, that must be the point for this. Wait till you get in a group of people. And then all of a sudden you just, all right, I'm going to hold this point on the leg. Wham, right through everything, because these points are frequency specific. And what I'm doing right now with this book is I'm translating all our anatomy into thought, word, and emotional patterns and the decrees that move the energy from one point to another. That's that. Also, every symptom that's realistic instead of a third, fourth, or fifth level of suppression, every symptom and what's the question and what's the resolution. And then we're also adding all the Young Living essential oils, singles, blends, and supplements for that exact reason, because the oils I make up, most people other than Gary and maybe a few don't really understand what essential oil does. It's sunlight through photosynthesis into the blood of the plant. And that's a personality of light of God, of our creator, designed for something exact, not as an antifungal, antiviral, anti-whatever. Light is not anti anything. Mankind is made up that it's anti this, anti-cancer. No, it's life. And so if you can imagine adding consciousness to the use of essential oils to find out all flames burn up, all essential oils go ethereal and work on all the bodies. And they're actually just stay with an oil, like get an oil, put it on. Yeah, it'll do something. It's nice, whatever. But literally, there's 3 brand new oils coming out from Young Living, which I've got, which are, anyway, I'll leave it at that. And it's all spiritual, all completely, like these are totally different. And they're all oils. All oils are raising us up into a new state. We've got all that translated, or at least the start of it. I mean, whether all of God is translated in this book, not. So it's like, but definitely enough to get somebody started. So imagine you start a community, you get trained, you get a community, and you might go, I don't have a camera. Just call for a camera. And we love it. I mean, Ia didn't have a camera. Yes, she did. It's in the same town. I'm going to get that. By the way, Adam, I may have you going to somewhere taking a picture of someone.
Cool.
So just know that may happen, and you know who that is, I believe.
Yep.
Starts with an M. So
Yep.
Good thing you got your camera, dude. So anyway.
And Bob, like not just to see how miracles happen, not only in the same town, one street away.
Is that where? Oh, I don't even know.
Dave and Ange live one street away. So when we found out, it was even more of ta-da moments.
Yeah.
It's like, they're one street away.
Voila.
Yep.
In
Voila.
Australian terms, that's basically next door.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Wow. Adam only had to come. How far was it for you to come to the class, Adam?
2,000 miles.
And he drove because he loves masks.
Yeah.
Not. Yeah. Awesome. Any questions, anybody? So April 19, 20, and 21.
Yeah, just know y'all the registration is going to close soon. We already have a decent sized group. There are a few available spots left. The sooner you can get a hold of me at adam@masterysystems.com. Let's talk about what your options and possibilities are of you getting trained and bringing this to your community. And for anyone that listens that's overseas, same thing. We're creating a way that we can do this virtually again for like Ia and her team in Australia and Stacy and some people over in Europe. So anyone listening that's overseas and chooses to know the options and possibilities, same thing, get a hold of me at adam@masterysystems.com and I'll get a hold of you ASAP and we'll just figure out what we can do.
And then I've asked Ia to put on a training that we'll talk about. We haven't designed all of it yet on what it takes, because I mean, we know what it takes to put it on, but I still gear up when I put them on here. Adam knows. I mean, my whole Amanda, everybody is like, geez, holy mackerel, right? Same when Ia did it, because she had everybody in her home. And the whole idea is that Ia can train you from her perspective about what it takes emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, the venue position, all that kind of stuff is just the more we can know ahead of time and the smoother, because this is sacred stuff. This is what I say about it. Being born from mom's womb into the earth, or there's God's, nature is taking care of it generally. I mean, nature, if we can just relax enough, nature, it's like reptilian. It's just part of the autonomic nervous system. Being spiritually born requires our full participation. And it's all about consciousness not being done to us. We birth ourselves. And that to me is what this whole Meta BE is all about. It's everything I offer is about that. So conscious language, imagination, all the kahuna trainings that are going on right now are really helpful. Kahuna just means big, big, huge kahuna. Sacred body language translation, really important. Biooptic holography, really important. Life upgrade coaching, really important. A whole bunch of other stuff. So there's a bunch you can talk to Adam about getting trained. And if you go, oh, I'd really like to have a community, this is the time to get your point locations hooked up. And this is going to be 3 days of mastering everything about putting on a session, a class, and finding the points, practicing over and over and over. Because even now, Adam, what's the number of people when they first start that can do STOs? The percentage?
And do them legitly, like it's very low, below 10%. And I had that challenge the first 2, maybe even 3 body electronics that I had, meaning just understanding how to stay, because one, if both people, the one that's on the table, the one holding STOs, if they have thriving problems or they don't really know, what it looks like to be successful in life or have healthy boundaries or be sovereign, there's little ninjas inside of our neck. Like I think Bruce Lee himself trained them, and it's like they're trying to flick you out when you're holding your feet. I mean, it's pretty wild and funny. And if you don't know what that is, it can be just very challenging, or, some judgment could come in. Anyway, it's very tricky. And it's one of the most important points to hold in order for everything else to transform and to work like it's supposed to. So
Yeah,
it's
these are
super important.
2 points in the neck, and frequently, we'll come back around and the person will be up here. These points are on the neck. Got it? Yeah. And the person will be like this and going,
I've
I
done
think
that.
we got to get you back over here. Come back around in 15 minutes, no, that's right over here. And it's just like, it's like two poles, like poles of magnets. It pushes. I mean, I remember one big guy. Oh my God, he's big man. And every time I came in, he was like, and he was going, I think it's the magnets, man. I just think it's the magnets. I just think, and it was all about, it's the medulla, it's thriving, it's life force, it's enthusiasm, it's all this stuff. But once you figure out the technique of how to hold it, which I can show everybody, once you get your hands in the right place, they're not going to be moving. Yeah. And especially once you I give myself permission to thrive. I don't know what that means. I choose to know what that means. I give myself permission to what it means. And if you take a look at this, what thriving means is whatever I see to be done in my heart of hearts is already being delivered. And I walk by faith. And that's why the more we prepare people ahead of time, the easier the sessions go. From when we first started, a cranial was 37 to 36 hours. The shortest was 7 hours. The longest was 36 hours, because we were burning off all their karma. And John had never had a cranium. Dr. John Ray. I gave him his first cranium. I gave his wife her first cranium. So he'd done a whole bunch, but he never had one. He didn't really have a clue what it was about until he had one. And, he only grew 3 inches, walked me out of his basement office, walked back around and went from one half of the basement to the other, where there's a steel I-beam. When I got home, there was a smoke signal, because it was long ago, so we didn't have voicemail and stuff. We had answering machines, and I had an answering machine. John Ray, big, called himself a battering ram for the light. Bob, call me. Just got out of the hospital. I got 14 stitches in my head. I'm going, crap. Oh no. Well, he was joking with me. I mean, he did. He hit his head right there. He grew 3 inches with me just holding points in his mouth. 3 inches. He was in bare feet, walking to his office. Bang, down on the floor, out. 14 stitches. Very exciting. You all having fun yet? Yeah. He was already 6,000 feet tall, and then he became 7,000 feet tall. He weighed 300 pounds, and he could do whatever anybody else could do at 300 pounds. So it's like, okay, I got it. So I thought I'd share that. Any comments, questions?
Yeah, I'll comment. Just great to be on the call today and feel really enthused and aligned with jumping into the MetaB points training. Just for me personally, timing and other things, it was a bit of a collision. And just hearing everything, I'm just realigned with my highest choice, which is knowing, seeing the increased requirement for this body work to support my world, to support my community, and that getting in and really secure and confident in the points is the step to take now. So I guess I'm just sharing too with anyone else that's kind of like, oh, sounds great for later. I get that it's my small self doesn't know the timing of the importance. And so I'm just saying yes, because it's happening now. And I get a sense that the timing is divine. So really important to be prepared to help people, because this is the time where, and this body work can help in the most profound ways beyond what I can even think that it can help with. I just know that it's a one-stop shop, so to speak. So yeah, really just great to be on board and doing this now. Mm-hmm. It's the bigger picture stuff.
I will share with everybody on that. Whatever your heart says, make sure you do it on anything. because our head's got all kinds of reasons and treasons and rationales and whatever. But if my heart says yes to anything, I immediately jump in and do it. I mean, I choose to. I mean, there may be, God might go, oh, you didn't do it there, and you didn't pick up that thing on the floor. And but I mean, I am more and more every day, I'm doing immediately whatever my heart says. So again, if we've been at bay, so to speak, something's gone on to prepare people for a metamorphosis that we're in. And I love the idea of being able to, especially take our leaders and get our leaders to the point where they can help others get to the point where they, you know, again, twinkling of an eye. So if you have a yes, or you'd like to know more information, or yes, Jane, go ahead. You can talk now. I see your flag. Go ahead.
I'm sure this is my little self saying, well, I'm not qualified to do this because I didn't go through a full, the full 8-day Meta BE. Is this something that I can
That's
do?
your little self. That's your little self. That might, this in body language, that's why God given strength. You're already invited. And you're already,
I know I'm invited, but I haven't done the Meta BE like everybody else has. But I can still come. God and me can come.
Is that a question? Only yeah.
No, my heart says yes.
Well, then
My heart
period.
says yes.
You're already
Okay,
enrolled.
period.
You're already there, Jane.
And not only that, you're already paid. Got it? You're already paid. And did Amanda let you know that or not? Because I asked her to.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
I had a new revelation today, just about an hour ago, in with Ia and Heather Connor, that all this fear that has come up that I've been running from, that's actually my path. Whatever I'm fearing to do, that means go for it.
Yep. And that's it. I mean, that everyone, whatever, anything you're afraid to do, go do it.
Yeah.
That's why it's do. And if the quicker we get, then it's like, oh yeah, go do that right now. Oh yeah. Look at Ian's going, I can, I will, I helped, I did that. Yeah. And we have a lot of fun because we have body language going on. Adam's going, I make a new choice on that myself. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
All right, everyone. I vote your victory. I love being with you all, by the way. And again, our 60 were signed up, 63 were signed up for tonight. We had 13, so the rest will be watching. So let's all say hi to all the people that are watching this by video.
Yep.
And
those that are listening, get a hold of me. It's going to be filling up quick.
Yep. All right. And again, the Sweden, imagine next time we have 12 satellites or something like that. Yes. Let's get this. Look at Ian's going, I can do this. I can do this. This is all body language and it's always accurate. And then Alessandra's going, oh, I feel I can. Oh, a thumb is thumb, left hand, thumb. Yeah. So body language coming soon. We got to laugh at him. He's Mr. Baseball player there. I love it. Yes, I can, I will. All right. Awesome. Thank you all. Blessings.
Good night.
Ciao.